Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to episode 2. We're discussing postpartum with Radhika. So do you know what's postpartum? It's the time that the woman gives birth, the time that starts immediately after she gives birth. But Radhika, what's your insight on postpartum?
So, after pregnancy and childbirth, your body changes in many ways.
Right.
And specifically when talking about, in terms of muscles, so the abdominals and the pelvic floor muscles weaken.
Right.
And this is not good because these muscle groups are what gives our body the stability and balance
Right.
for performing our activities of daily living. So it is very important to strengthen these muscles back again. And the correct way to do it is with postpartum training.
Yes.
And this is very important because once you have the muscles strengthened, you prevent things like incontinence or, organ collapse, for the future. Yeah. But there is a very important question I want to ask you that a lot of people ask, and I think you would be the perfect person to give an explanation for that. How soon after giving birth can you start the postpartum exercises?
So this really varies from person to person and how their pregnancy was. If it was a very complicated pregnancy and it needed a lot of do's and don'ts, so this person has to go to 3 people and then get a whole check. Everybody should get a check, but it really depends on pregnancies to pregnancies.
Yeah.
Now, those who have given birth via C-section, cesarean sections, right? So they need at least 6 weeks or more. But for some, they can immediately get back to it because there are 3 steps to follow, which we will discuss, right?
Yeah.
And not only that, if the 3 people that I'm talking about gives a check, then you're okay to start. And the first person would be you as a pelvic floor physiotherapy, like a pelvic physiotherapy. Number 2 would be your OBGYN, the one who did your surgery and the one who knows exactly your whole history. And then the last person is us, the pre and postnatal fitness trainers.
Yeah.
And within this, going through these 3 levels, you check in with everything. The scar, whether the scar is okay, healing, there are no infections. And then number 2 is the DR, diastasis recti, which I'm sure you'll shed more light on. So once we have these things through, it's then you can. So it is varying. So that is why I need, specifically for me, I do need a check from the OBGYN and the physiotherapy therapist.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you had mentioned about the 3 steps.
Yeah.
So since you are a certified pre and postnatal trainer, why don't you share your like a little bit of insight on what your routine would include for postpartum, training?
Right.
Why don't you explain that?
First of all, 2 categories: the normal birth category, where you give birth normally, like we know, and then the C-section mothers, right?
Yeah.
So first and foremost is this one thing that I would like to address is that there is a reason the doctor says that please don't carry the baby immediately, please don't bend over, please don't directly jump into your normal work and house routines and chores, or please don't jump directly into your intimate life, right?
Yes.
There is a reason. The reason is all of your pelvic floor, right? And your core. This all gets really affected and the injuries last really long. Like you said, all the prolapse and everything. I mean, this is the reason why it happens, because you don't ask for help. So please ask for help. And number 2 is, how the steps would be, first of all, we differentiate the categories, right?
Yes.
Let's say if the birth is normal. If the birth is normal, we start with breathings, light walks, light staircases, the whole part of healing. We start the whole part of breathing, mind-muscle connection, and then the healing part, right? So after that, we go to the C-section mothers. Normally, everybody says 6 weeks, right? Now, you see, the normal birth is like you can either get immediately to it or you wait, depending on how your pregnancy was, like I mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
But let's say if we're talking about C-section mothers, then you cannot jump immediately, right? There is a rest period, how the scar is doing, whether the scar tissue is okay or not. Number 3, how your, if you have developed a DR or not. So considering all that, and the bed rest that fall, because it's a huge surgery. People take it so normally that now they just schedule it, you know, okay, it's their choice entirely. But then they don't understand that it is a major surgery. It's one of the major surgery that has 7 layers of your body cut to remove the baby out of it. So imagine not resting. Yeah, what can it do to you? What can it do to the pelvic floor?
I totally agree.
Yeah, so these mothers then have the first one, same breathing techniques, alignment, the stacking of the neutral alignment. Number 2 would be the whole DR healing part, the core rehab part, and then number 3 is progressive overload of the muscles, of the ab muscle significantly. Well, and you know, healing period can take up to like forever. Because you forever stay postpartum. Once you've given birth, you're forever postpartum. So they don't understand that either. They feel like, okay, can I do it for 3 months? Can I do it for 6 months? Can I do it for 1 year? It's not like that. Once you have healed it, to keep a wound intact, you know how you have to keep on caring. Let's say a fracture, your bone never feels the same again, can it? Right? There will be like when it's cold, they feel some kind of pain in their scar because it's a major surgery, and that's what they don't understand. So I think, so this is my whole part of it. And I would like to tell them to take it slow. You know, the internet has a lot,
I also want to add on something very important is that people should just not go on YouTube and just open, you know, workout plans. After giving birth and start doing it. I mean, they have to go through you know, and have it checked at first, as you said, as well, because it's very important. Because what is happening is that people these days, they're just opening and checking, you know, on YouTube, on Google and everything, and it's leading to strains. It is leading to more damage to the muscle, like high intensity training. So, you know, having the importance of having the right intensity is very important.
Because I get it. You are really desperate to go back to your old body. And it's a matter like, it's like a bitter sip to just, you know, indulge in it. Like just go with this mindset that it is going to take time. I am going to heal eventually. I have to take it slow rather than just jumping into high intensity exercises, all like, you know, to get your old body back kind of thing. Or, you know, I have a lot of women asking me that, will this mommy pouch ever go away? You know, will my stomach ever become the way it was before? Of course, you have given birth and it's like a miracle, you know, in itself. Like, you know, the amount of pain and what the trauma the body goes through, of course you need to give it time for it to heal slowly, you know, step by step. And I think many women they fail to understand that. And I think also the society pressure here, I would not like to entirely blame us for it, us moms, but even the society doesn't make it easy. We don't get help. And of course people struggle to ask for help. We don't get help. And then number 2 is that you know, a woman is immediately thought that, okay, she's going to get back to normal. It takes time. Whether you give birth normally, what if you have 1st degree tear, 2nd, 3rd degree tear with all the stitches, and you know, they usually, like, especially I think in the west side of the life, where at least here we have help, we have dadas and all of that, but there they don't even have that. And I think family members should then step in, because we need to understand that it is a major thing a woman goes through.
Since you said a major thing a woman goes through, you yourself, Fatema, are a mom of 2. What was your experience like postpartum, you know, with both your kids? Maybe you can share some, you know, information on that.
So I think for me, both the pregnancies were totally different. the first pregnancy, I was very huge, and the baby was also big because of me myself being obese and stuff.
Okay.
And I did have a trouble recovering from that, because you're obese, you don't even have any knowledge about it. I didn't even know what postpartum is.
Yeah.
At least now we have some awareness about it. Before, they didn't even have that. So so you see, with Sienna, my first one, was a process that after when she was 2 or 3 is when I came to know, okay, when I was studying in the UK, and I was like, okay, I need to get rid of this weight that I've packed on in the pregnancy, and before it, I was already overweight, and then I became moderately obese.
Yeah.
So we're looking at shedding 36 kgs at that time. So my scar and the fupa that they call nowadays, the overhang, mommy tummy, everything. So I had to get into first. I went to a physiotherapist to see about my pelvic floor and stuff. And then I went to my OBGYN. I spoke to her if I can. She said, yeah, it's long new, man. Why haven't you started? And then I started losing weight with my first one. The second one was I was already doing prenatal yoga.
Oh, okay,
yes,
wow.
all 9 months I did prenatal yoga, breathing, yoga ball exercises. And it was a smooth pregnancy. I recovered very fast. We don't understand the effect of mobility in us.
Yes.
Whether you're pregnant, some people think like, okay, you're pregnant, it's like the baby is hanging by the thread. You can't even move. You should be on bed rest. But it's not like that. So with the second one, I moved a lot. Of course, I had another C-section with her as well. But surprisingly, I recovered better than the first one. I was up and moving in 10 days. I did take the necessary break and help, but I was fine. And then immediately I started my DR healing, because I did get a 2-finger space DR.
Okay.
And then I healed that,
Yeah.
brought my body back, and then there it was, 36 kgs down again. So Radhika, please, I really need you to advise these new moms to be, old moms, the importance of this thing.
Yes, for sure. And I think once this video is out, and people will have much more awareness about what is postpartum fitness and how to go about it, and what is necessary to do, before just starting your exercises. And yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, Radhika. I had a lovely time. I mean, we really digged into this one.
Yes.
And I really hope that people take it positively and work on it, because it's really important. This was episode 2, where we discussed everything about postpartum, and I'm sure this will help you. See you for the next video, that is
Plantar fasciitis,
aka flat feet. Happy fasting.